This conference will now be recorded.
1 second. Right. So we are starting from HTML as discussed yesterday. The first is HTML. Okay. Then, so how many of you have an idea about HTML? What is that and how it is going to be used? Any idea? No idea? Okay. One thing, do one thing. Create a folder, something like this, as I have created something, and create a folder HTML, and to write a program, to write a coding of HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, JavaScript, jQuery, whatever it might be, everything, we need some editor, or we can say environment, where we can type a code that can save and that can be executed in the browsers. So search in the Google open source editors, or we can say open source integrated development environments. Both are same, just the differences between editors and integrated development environments. The difference are having some additional plugins in IDE, having some additional plugins in integrated development environments. You can just search, okay, even I'm using Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio is different. Visual Studio Code is different. Okay. So just if you want to use any other, maybe Atom or Brackets or Sublime or Notepad++, whatever you want, you can use. So mostly we'll be using Visual Studio Code because it's something flexible and easier to open the folders at a time. According to your operating system, download. And when you open this in your operating system, automatically it will show download for Macintosh, download for Linux, download for Windows something. So download and install, that's it. Then once you are done, you can just see when you right click an option open with code, a total folder that can be opened, where it can have files and subfolders. Defaultly, it will be having like this. But as we are unable to work for a long time with a black screen, so that's why we just can change, go to File, Preferences, choose Color Theme, select Light, so that you can get a white color background. Now here, a folder name, beside that we have a file that we can create, a folder we can create in this HTML folder. Now I am just creating a notes We can even write a txt, I mean any extension also directly. So now coming to the point, what is HTML? The first point what we have to say is the abbreviation of HTML is it is hyper text markup language. What is the meaning of this hypertext markup language? The meaning is it is used to design a web page or pages. Now, what is a web page? A page that you are opening through URL. That is a page that a page that you are seeing by opening something in the URL, maybe google.com, yahoo.com, or any other something, but you are something typing in the URL and that is loading into your browser is called a page. That page we can say it's a web page. Why it is considered as a web page? Because throughout the world, a number of websites and lakhs and crores of websites or web applications are connected through web. That's why. Okay. Then let me tell you what is a web page and what is the thing that we can place in a web page. For example, okay, you open this website. What you are seeing here, a logo, navigation, search box, some text, an image, heading, subheading, and something matters like this. Everything they have written in a proper way presentation with a combination of different contents, meaning images, links, headings, subheadings, buttons, everything we consider it as a content. Now, what is a web page? A page which consists of headings, paragraphs, images, links, lists, forms, etc., which is called a web page. Okay, these are all we can say simple format. A page which consists of different, which consists of different formats of content. Then what is that content means? You can say these are all will be considered as a content. Getting my point? So what is a HTML? The first point you have to say the abbreviation of HTML is hypertext markup language which use it to design a web page. Then what is a web page? A page which consisting of different formats of content. What is a content? A content that can be of headings, paragraphs, images, and so on. Okay, to create a form, to create a list, to create a link, to create image, to make it something in different format, how to work with this? I mean, how to create? HTML works with two things. What are those? One is, we can say, elements. Elements can also be called as a tags. Second thing, we can say attributes. What is an element? An element is a name which referring to create a particular format of content. Whatever I am writing here, a statement or seems something that a definition, it's just for our understanding purpose. I'm making a simplified manner. But definitions that you have to remember, I will show after completing a few topics, and I will show some PDF files or I will show some website links where you can copy and save those details into your documents. Okay, then so an element is a name which referring to create a particular format of content. Whereas what is an attribute? An attribute is also a name. Okay, so is a name which adds the specifications to the elements, meaning creating some additional feature, we can say, having or setting some additional feature to the element. So let me write adds the specifications to the elements. And one more point, not all the elements are independent, meaning some of the elements are dependent on attributes. You can see some of the elements are dependent on attributes. So some of them are independent, that is directly they will work and give an output, whereas some other are dependent on attributes. But whereas what about the attributes? 100 percentage all the attributes are dependent on elements. There is no concept of what you can say independent. Okay, how many types of elements we have? Types of elements. One, of course, there are two types. One is block, and another thing is inline. How to work with the block? Okay, irrespective, either it may be a block level element or else either it may be inline element. What is the syntax? How to write that element? That is first point. Second point, what is the difference between block and as well inline? The name itself, it is saying block means can hold a set of things inside that, right? So the name itself, it is saying that a block means that can have some set of elements, some set of items inside that main element. So how, let us write First, the syntax. Every HTML element will follow the same syntax, less than symbol, element name, greater than symbol. It is called opening element, opening of an element. And write some matter, whatever that you want. And finally, after completing of that matter or something, then with forward slash, you just have to close it. So opening and closing of a block level element, which is element name opening and closing same. But one thing we have to observe, the closing that can be done with the forward slash. Then what are the examples? I will show practically. Just this is the basic syntax we need to know. So that's why I'm writing. Paragraph, meaning you want to write a paragraph. Less than symbol, the name of that element, greater than symbol, and writing some matter, whatever that we want to display, and with closing with forward slash. Then another, let me write here. Okay. Then which is inline. The syntax of inline, element name within itself closing. That is the difference between block level and inline level element syntaxes. And examples of inline can say HR, horizontal line, IMG for image displaying like this, an element opening and closing within itself, not somewhere else. So this is how a element is working in two different ways. One is block and inline. One, what about the attribute? Just copy the concept of elements here to the attributes. As we have discussed, an attribute is an name which adding an extra features, or we can say which is adding a specifications to the elements. That means it has to be written towards two elements only, not somewhere else. So how to write? In the opening element, maybe a block, maybe an inline. In the opening element, just give a space and write attribute name. We will discuss what are those attributes. Attribute name that equals to either in double quotations or in single quotations. Just write its value. The same, it will be applicable to the inline also. Okay, element name space attribute name that equals to its value. The same way, element name space attribute name equals to its value. You even can also write n number of attributes, attribute name 1, attribute name 2, and so on. There is no restriction. Then now coming to the point, when there is a requirement to design a website, client is asking you to design a web page, or sorry, client is asking you to design a website, then how you have to set a project folder. For example, the client is asking you to create a IT exams website. So create a folder as a root folder with the name of IT exams, and this folder should consist of minimum a CSS folder, which is for all a style sheets where you can make it a styling concepts, and for all the images separate folder, for all the logics or else for all the front end programming, you just have to write a scripts, that is JavaScripts and jQueries and so on. Apart these things, in the root folder itself, how to execute a web page, how to load the website, the root file that you have to create is index. And as we are discussing the concept of HTML, so this extension should be .html, so that the browser can understand, okay, these people have written something, a code in the format of HTML, which it has to display in different formats of content. Okay, so this is a basic structure that you have to create irrespective of that application, irrespective of that client requirement of a project. Okay, then now let us think, as we have already created a root folder. Now either you can right click and click on new file and name it as index.html. We need to follow some rules and regulations irrespective of the technology, maybe HTML or CSS or Bootstrap or JavaScript, whatever it might be. But finally, each and every technology is having its own syntax and we need to follow accordingly. So to work with the HTML, the first statement, the structure of HTML, less than symbol, exclamation mark, DOCTYPE. Documentation type, what is the documentation type? Which is called HTML. And throughout the concepts, what we are discussing, maybe HTML, CSS, maybe JavaScript or Bootstrap, anything, we are discussing the concepts of previous version and the latest version changes also. So both will be included. You just have to get an idea what we are discussing here, what is it, how to use. Okay, then. So the first statement meaning is when you are opening this file in the browser, meaning you just have created a file, right click, open with maybe of any of your, what you can say, browser. So I'm just opening with one of the browser, Firefox, and then the browser will understand, okay, these people are ready to start with the concept of HTML elements, because the browser will come to know in the very beginning that statement as we have written document doc type HTML. Then now we need to start off writing a statements of HTML and the syntax, how to write a data and everything, the content, everything. So the first point that you need to follow, HTML, the name itself is an element. As we have discussed just now, less than symbol and which is called opening element, and somewhere else we are closing with forward slash, right? And in this HTML we have two parts. One is head and another thing is body. So what is the meaning or what is the usage of head and what is the usage of body? One thing, when not only this concept or not only today's session, I'm just saying you, whenever you are unable, maybe any of you unable to get a concept, you please just interrupt me I will let you know once again or twice or thrice also. No issues. You know. But finally, you need to get an understanding what is that we are going to do. Okay, all of you. And at the same time, on a daily basis, whatever we are discussing, please try to do whatever we have discussed the same thing at your end. First point, give preference. What we are discussing, give preference of practice in a daily basis, whatever we are discussing in the session. And later I will let you know how to get an additional information, how to research, and how to get more ideas also. Okay, then now, okay, what is the meaning? Sorry, what is the usage of head and what is the usage of body? Head is used to describe the page information. Let me write here. Head and body. Head is used to describe the page information. Simply, we can say we are doing something work. For example, drawing on a paper. If anyone asks you what you will say, you will say that I am drawing a animal on a paper, or else I am drawing a house on a paper. That is, you are giving a statement in a simplified manner where other person can understand easily. It's general statements only now. The same way you are designing a web page, you are designing a website, maybe anything, but finally you need to give something information properly to the visitors, properly to the search engines. Meaning, what is a search engine? In Google, Yahoo, or Bing, and some other things are search engines. Why these called search engines? Because whatever that you want to know, yes, if I want to know eclipse, what is that? It is giving information. Because of it is holding, it is having such a great data, whatever that user is expecting to see or to know is just giving an clear information. That is why it is called a search engine. And okay, I have just written something here in the search box. It is called actually keyword. When user is typing or entering something keyword, based on that keyword, we're getting some results. Okay, here we got something results around 34 lakhs 20 mm, okay, 34 crores 20 lakhs results in the gap of 0.49 seconds. That is later issue, but the word which is matching and giving an results 34 crores 20 lakhs, but all the 34 crores you are seeing in the same page. No, you're seeing only few things. First point. Second thing, there is a heading with a link, there is a paragraph, something, maybe one or two lines, right now. Each and every different website which is showing in the search results are having a name which is called title, a description, and connecting to the given keyword. That is called, we can say, describing a page information in a short and simplified manner to the search engine where a visitor, if I am the visitor, I can find out, okay, what this people is telling, right now. That is what. So to make it something now, that is what we have say, describing a page information. And what is the concept of body? Body is use it to display the content of the page, content of the website. You can say simply display the content. Now come to the point. In the head element, okay, you have opened. Where is that? No opened. Let us do one thing. Hmm. You have opened, and for example, along with your website, I opened too many other websites. Like this, I have opened too many websites, let us assume. If I want to move to the Facebook, what I can do? By seeing the title in the tab, I just can click on it. If I want to go to Yahoo, yes, by seeing the title in the tab, I just can go to it. If I want to go to your website, where is that your website name? You have to search here and there, as you did not given a proper title for your web page or for your website. So a title plays a important to identify your website where it is located in the tabs. So write a title element. If you observe in all the cases, where opening, closing, head opening and closing, block level, body opening and closing, and title opening and closing. In between that, you can write whatever that matter you want to display. So let me write something hypertext markup language, something we have done. The statement, whatever you are writing here, once it is done, then just refresh your browser by opening the tab. Then you are just getting. Okay. So, and now you can see, I mean, the user can understand, okay, these people have given something name. Yes, if I want to see, yes, I will click on this particular tab. Okay. So now, additionally, along with the concept of a title, in the head element, we have few more things to write. What is that, or what are the things means? Meta elements. Meta elements are the elements used to describe the page information clearly about what you are doing, or what is the page which is giving an output. Simply, we can say giving a brief information about a particular page to the web visitors, or we can say to the search engines. And it is an inline element. The first point, now so far we did not use any attribute. Okay, you have an attribute which is HTML, that is later issue. Then an attribute, when we can say an attribute that equals to its value. That is the meaning. Right now, we have discussed here an attribute name that equals to its value to the element name. So here we are writing a meta element with char set UTF-8. It is a default statement. What is the meaning of char set? It just the page setting that characters encoding, meaning you are writing a group of characters. If you observe special symbols, alphabets, numbers, everything in a single page, I mean in a file, and saving in the format of .html. As soon as you save, what it will do? It will save immediately in the memory, right? When it is saving the data, when it's saving the syntax, when it's saving that HTML, everything in the memory, it has to take a less memory size. Meaning, the concept is it may be hundreds of lines, it may be thousands of lines of code, but finally, it should take a less memory size. That's why we have written a char set which is used to encoding the group of characters what we are writing here and saving. Simply remember, it is used to take a less memory size what we are writing in the HTML page by using a char set, and it is a default format UTF-8 encouraged ASCII different formats like this. Okay, then now additionally to the point of this meta element, meta, and one more point, if you observe clearly, an element name space attribute name that equals to its value. The same way, an element name for what purpose you are writing this one? For title purpose. What is the title that can be written with content? So let us just copy and paste. You can write anything. So this meta element is saying that a title, where is the title? If you search, for example, title, this is what you can say, title, and the matter, which is just content, referring this matter as a title. And what about the keywords? So let us write meta name equals to keywords, and then content equals to. If you have written like this, and if anyone who types your matching keyword, it may get a chance to display in the search results. But don't think as soon as just, of course, by writing a word and which user is typing the same, you will be getting a first place. I mean, your website will be located at the first place. To make it in the first place, you need to do, I mean, not we, there is a separate job which is called search engine optimization, giving a concept of marketing of your website, promotion, doing promotion of your website to make it in the first page and first listings. That is not our job, it is a search engine optimization person job. Actually, there are four departments which are related to completing of a website or web applications. One is graphic designers, the persons who can design a logo and icons or images, something like this. Second is web developers, I mean web designers and web developers. There is nothing but we, web designers and or web developers, where we can align the content in a proper way. For example, if I open a website, my screen is visible to you, and expect I have just clicked on it. Yeah. Visible? Hello? There. I request please respond. I mean, unexpectedly, I may have clicked on the screen share button. It is now visible to you or not? Please let me know. You can even chat anyone, please. Okay.
We can see the page.
Okay. Okay, right there. So now what I'm saying is a content with heading and matter everything what we have done and what we are discussing here, saying that a page information what it is telling, that matching keywords of your content you can just write in the keywords place. And what about a statement, a simple statement that you need to say to your website visitors what you are doing, meaning what this page is doing. You can just write with meta elements name, right? I mean name equals to description, whereas content equals to write that matter whatever you want. Okay, so just whatever you have written here, the matter that will be displaying here in this place, like this, maybe 2 lines or 3 lines. You should not make it 10 lines or 20 lines something of code. Maximum 2 to 3 statements, that is minimum is 2 and maximum, okay, you can make it 3 statements. Okay, with this we got a clarity that a head element how far we can do and what is the usage, and we have few more things to discuss that we'll discuss when we come to that point, or when we come to that what you can say concepts. Now we start off displaying the content. Okay, just so how to display. Let us think as client is giving something matter. Let me just copy from somewhere else. Okay, client has given us some matter and saying that to display this raw matter which is not properly assigned, sorry, properly aligned in a proper way. Okay, so how to write that matter, that we need to start in body element. Okay, let me do one thing. Just hold on for a moment, please. Okay, so as client has given us some matter, let us just display. Then we are displaying 3 paragraphs. Like as you are writing a documentation in Word, you will be writing a number of paragraphs separately like this now. The same way, we want to display the given matter in 3 different paragraphs, but everything is showing as a single. How that you can classify there are 3 paragraphs. That is why we have a formatting elements, making something that each and everything is a separate paragraph. So what is the syntax? Less than symbol. The element name here is P. P stands for paragraph and closing with forward slash. Write this matter in between the opening and closing paragraph elements. Then again, that is how many number of paragraphs that you want. You can just open and close. In between that paragraph elements, you can just specify the matter. Okay, now see the output. Each and every paragraph is started in a new line. So user can understand, okay, these people have written something matter which is having some 3 paragraphs. But if I am the user, for example, you have created this matter, I mean, you have designing a website. I came to your website and I am not showing much interest to read the total matter. Then how can you make it something impressive? Because it is just showing in a plain text format. No one will show to read the matter from starting to ending. Expecting something in a short summarized format. In that case, you just have to you just have to create a heading. For what purpose you have written this matter in a simplest manner. Getting my point? Instead of directly displaying that matter in number of lines or we can say number of paragraphs, you just wants to display something, a heading, so that the user can understand, okay, these people given this matter. If user is interested, then will read further or will skip from this website. That is user interest. We should not force. Okay, I just done same paragraph element to make it something heading. There are 6 types of headings in HTML. Types of headings. What are those? H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, H6. These are the 6 different sizes, which is bigger to least. So place that H1 opening element and write some matter and at ending some matter. Okay. Now see the output. Right. User can see a bigger font. Okay, what these people are telling. If user is interested to read further matter, then user will start off reading this paragraph. Otherwise, we'll skip from this. That is user wish. But first thing, we need to give a clear information what we are seeing. When you are writing an examination, you will be writing a first heading and what you are writing. Write a description, answer. Same way here also. Okay. Then next, additionally, the concept of the concept of sub uh, sorry, further headings H2, H3, H4, so on. So how? Let us do one thing. Let us use the same matter. H2, H3, H4, H5, and H6. See the differences of each and every heading. H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, and H6. Reducing the font size. According to our usage, according to our requirement, we use that particular heading, maybe a main heading or subheadings, something like this. At this moment, for example, I don't want to display all these subheadings. I want only one heading. Then what you can do? The first point that we will be getting an idea is, yes, when we don't want, we will delete right now. As we have deleted, nothing else displaying. After some time or after some days, of course, just guess like this. If you require once again that same code to display, but you have deleted now, as you have deleted, again you need to recode totally. If it is just one statement or two statements, or okay, 4 to 5 statements, that is not an issue. You can recode. But think, if it is too much of content, you have to recode. It's time waste. So when you think a particular statement or particular matter or particular content that should be used maybe further, not now, at least it may be used further. In that case, instead of deleting totally, you just make it under the commenting. Commenting is used to skip the line or lines from the execution. How? The syntax to write commenting is less than symbol, exclamation mark, two hyphens, and at the ending, two hyphens with greater than symbol. Whatever the matter that you have placed in between that syntax will be considered as a commenting. As it is considering as a commenting, the HTML parser will execute this one. As soon as it see this line, it just jump out of this block and will go the rest of the lines. So see the output. In the editor we have, but in the output it's not displaying. Okay, so and we have a number of elements to discuss that we'll discuss in tomorrow's session, the further things. So up to this point, whatever we have, just try to implement at your end. Okay.
Okay.
Any questions, any doubts, please let me know. To anyone, it's clear the things what we have discussed today.
Yes, it is clear. Yes.
Right then. Okay then. Thank you, and we'll meet tomorrow. Okay.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you, and bye.
Thank you.